visual tour of the Bronco up here in the Angeles National Forest. So this is the outside of the truck. As you can see, totally echoing the front lines of the 60s Bronco, but being the first 4-door version ever. This one has the hard top. The lines are really square. I mean, it's just a handsome looking SUV. It gets a lot of thumbs up. A lot of people are interested in this one. Here's the Sasquatch logo. Shows off what you got. These are the fenders. Super easy to take off. Just kind of move these clips and pull and it pops right off. Take off all the doors, take off the roof itself. That's gonna drop you by 317 pounds. So going around town or off-roading with 317 less pounds is super fun. Out back, you got your giant spare. Now, unlike the Bronco Sport, unfortunately, there's no way to open the back glass without opening the bottom portion, which is a little weird because check this out. Like, this is the rear kind of spring and it sticks. The idea is that you can open it and it will stop from, you know, hitting other things. You can kind of get a few things in and out, but every time I open this, it gets stuck on this middle position before it goes out to the longer position. So it's a little bit weird. I keep hitting myself on it, but I guess I'm just a clumsy guy. But anyway, so you have to open this all the way out before you can flip the top glass to load in big things. So as you can see, this might be a touch of a challenge, you know, at certain store parking lots if you need to load in big, heavy things. But I suppose if you're loading in anything big enough, you'd park away from somebody. But yeah, so reminder to bring this down. Oh yeah, and then this is the neat stuff for disconnect these wires, and then got 4 bolts on this side, 1 up here, so 10 total to remove the top. And really, really easy. Takes a minute to figure it out the first time, but after that, oh yeah, nice and dirty the way they should be, right? That is the outside of the Bronco. I think it's a home run visually in being both kind of classic. It kind of stands out for being so square in this world where everything is so curved, and in our electric future, we're probably gonna see less square things. And so it's kind of old school meets new school. Very, very cool. All right, let's go into the inside here. Show you off kind of the basic interior. All right, got some details from Ford. Got these sweet Bronco floor liners there. Simple cloth seats in the base here. They're not the best, but they're pretty comfy. I like them well enough. Not the best that Ford makes. Got some storage in here. Good amount of storage. This is lockable as much as something plastic can. This is also lockable, so you got kind of 2 lockable storage areas. This is the 10-speed auto transmission, which doesn't have a sport mode unlike in the Mustangs, but it does have manual shifting, so you can lock it into low gear. This is your GOAT mode selector, so goes over any terrain mode. So this one has normal, eco, sport, slippery, and sand. The more you go up and get up to 7 GOAT modes by the time you get to the Badlands. But because you get the Sasquatch, you do get the 4 automatic, which is kind of a smart 4-wheel drive shifting situation. Simple screen, Sync 4 in here, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which is really nice. Single zone, simple heat, you know, just put the fan on, select your temperature. I like that it's old school. I like that it's simple. There's no wireless charging or anything like that, but you do get USB A and USB-C here and right here as well. So there's plenty of little charging. And again, wireless Apple CarPlay in this car, which is great. The radio is absolute trash. Don't worry about that at all. Yeah, you might want to upgrade that if you can. But again, this is the cheap one. And I honestly don't think that it's going to get much better if you go up the thing. You know, like, look, when you get a GT500 Mustang, it's not that much fancier than the GT, if at all. And so I think the Bronco is going to be the same, where the cheaper, less money you spend on interior goodies, the more you will feel like you have a good value. But anyway, up here you're going to see hazard lights, traction control on and off. This is your trail control assist button, and that's going to help you make tighter corners. And you got your rear locker and your front locker, and then this is where the front sway disconnect would go if you had the equipped. And then you can also get depending on the package you have, you'd get alternate accessory buttons kind of. I think it's up in this area is where it goes, but again, I haven't tested them all. Oh, another thing to know is that the next year, for the 2022 model year, you're going to be able to get the 7-speed manual transmission with the Sasquatch package, which I think would be super fun. That's got it's actually a 6-speed, but with a crawler gear for super low crawling speeds. But this 10-speed I like a lot. You know, a lot of people complain about this 10-speed. They say, oh, hey, you know, it hunts around a lot. I don't find that at all. I've driven it in Mustangs. I've driven it at F-150s. I've driven it in the Ranger. I don't see any problems with this 10-speed. I think it's really terrific. This is actually the base transmission in the 4-door Bronco base, but the base transmission in the 2-door is the 7-speed manual. It's a little confusing, and sometimes I don't even know if I'm reading all the materials right, but here is the gauge cluster over here. Very simple. There is a hot and cold, you know what gear you're in, and speedometer off to the left, but then it's all digital here as well. And so when you press these buttons here, you can kind of configure what you're looking at. And so you got your off-road status, which is pretty neat. You can scroll through the different statuses. I like to use this one here so you can see your PSI and stuff like that, but pretty neat functionality. I don't love the design of this overall, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so that's kind of the gauge cluster and this and that. Very simple interior. Had the little one with us as well. Not the most room, not as much room as an F-150, but a fair amount. So in the back here, got another Bronco with the awesome rubber mat. I would definitely recommend that. And you'll notice that all the window levers are in the center of this car. There's only locks on the doors, and that's because you can take them off, obviously. One of the weird quirks is that once you get rid of your front door, sometimes you have to use the key fob to unlock the back from the outside, which is kind of funny. And then over here, you've got your other windows and your mirror controls right there. So yeah, that's the inside of the Bronco. That's what the sound deadening headliner looks like up there. But pretty cool stuff overall. It's a very basic utilitarian interior, and I like it. I think it fits the off-road kind of mentality, and it does a really nice job. So okay, so now we're gonna see how long it takes to take off the roof and all 4 doors with the 2021 Bronco base Sasquatch. I am using a 13mm socket wrench and a T50 Torx for the rear. Okay, let's set up a time lapse, see how long it takes. So, not so great, just under 20 minutes, but this is the first time I did the doors and the rear section of the roof. So let's kind of go through all of that, actually, just as I kind of tell you guys a few tips and tricks that I just learned doing this kind of the first time. So, the driver's side and the passenger side is super easy to do by yourself. It's very easy to unclip the passenger rear seats as well. It's one long piece, so you kind of want a buddy to lift that up. The rear is pretty simple as well. There is 4 screws on each side in the back, and then you have to get the one up here as well on each side. So 10 total. Those are the T50s. And then the other thing you have to make sure to do is to disconnect these wires. These are the wires that go into the back of the glass window and everything. And what's cool is that they've got these little areas to plug into while you're driving them. Now, the doors are pretty simple as well. What you're going to see is that it's 2 of these 13mm bolts. Long one on the top, short one on the bottom. A few twists, take them out. Then you unlock the clip, and then this door swings shut to protect your door electronics. And then there's places in each of the doors where it says lift, and you lift the door up and out of the way. So it took me a couple minutes to figure out where the lifting kind of trick and mechanism was for that. And I also, the first time I did it, I missed the bolts up here. So that's why the whole thing took about 18 minutes. I think it's about a, you know, kind of a 12 to 15 minute project. And I recommend doing, if you're gonna do the back half of the hardtop, doing that with a buddy, because it is pretty cumbersome. But there it is. Now it's ready to go. Looking good.